Take some time now to settle the body. Close the eyes and sit in a comfortable position. And if that's with your legs crossed, please do so. Place your hands on your knees in a mudra of your choice. And ensure that the spine is straight and the head and neck are in line with the spine. Check in on your shoulders. Notice if they're back and down and relaxed, just to help open the chest. Take a long, deep inhalation. And as you exhale, release all the events of the day. Let them all go. Take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time, when you exhale, release all the conversations and interactions you've had today, no matter what form that they have taken, in person, on the phone, or in a digital space. Just let them all go. And take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time, when you exhale, release any thoughts or feelings of obligation of anything you need to do after this class, and give yourself this gift of this time now. Be here right now. There's nothing else you need to do right at this very moment. And now we'll gently scan the awareness through the body, but before we do, please really observe how you're feeling in each part of your body as you move your awareness through, just to check in to see if there's any pain or irritation or soreness, so that when we do the class tonight with the asanas, that you can work within your body's movement and that you can listen to your body. And if a practice isn't right for you, you can either do something else, or you could visualize the practice, which can be just as effective. So beginning with putting your awareness into the soles of the feet, observe how you're feeling there right now. And do this as you gently move the awareness up through the feet, into the shins and the calves, into the knees now, and up into the thighs and the buttocks, into the small of the back, and up through the spine, and up through the abdomen and the chest, into the fingers now, into the hands and the wrists, and up through the arms, into the shoulders, placing the awareness now into the neck, into the back of the head, to the crown of the head, and move the awareness now into the face, and resting your awareness at the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a steady candle flame illuminating the darkness. And focusing on that flame now, we will now chant Om 3 times, and Om Shanti, and I'll chant the Shanti mantra to pay respect to the wisdom traditions, respect between teacher and student and teacher, so that we can all learn together without ill will. Breathing in. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Gunatu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. And now bring the body into the base position with the legs out in front and the hands behind the buttocks with the fingers pointing away. Trying to get my feet into it and just relax for a few moments. The eyes closed. And we'll begin our practices with the ankles. So we'll begin with ankle rotation. So just moving the ankles together the feet together from the ankles in a clockwise direction. So bringing first the feet down towards the floor, then moving the feet around to the right, and then around to the left and down to the floor again. This is one round. Complete 5 rounds in each direction, really slowing it down and placing the awareness in the ankle joints, just observing what's happening as you do this practice and inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement. Ankle rotation. Once you've finished your rounds in your own time, just stop and observe the effects of the practice. And keeping in with the theme now of rotations, we'll now complete a knee rotation. So bringing first the right foot just in front of the buttocks, making sure that you're sitting up straight, the spine is straight. Lift the right foot off the floor and clasp the hands underneath the right knee. And just move the lower part of the leg first in a clockwise direction for 5 rounds and then in an anti-clockwise direction for 5 rounds. Very slowly and mindfully placing the awareness in the foot, in the knee joint. In the knee joint, and also trying to coordinate the breath with the movement. So you're inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement. Aiming for that body breath mind connection as you coordinate the breath with the movement. And to come out of that practice, when you have completed 5 rounds on each side, make sure that you bring the foot in front of the buttock again and then gently slide it along the floor. This helps to protect the knee. And then when you've finished on the right side, take a few moments just to observe the difference between right and left, and then complete the practice with the left knee. once the practice is complete, again, come back to base position and then observe how both knees are feeling. We'll move now to some hip asanas, so hip opening asanas. The first we'll do is a hip rotation. So for this one, bringing the sole of the foot in front of the buttocks again, bringing the right knee out towards the side. So you can either put the foot on top of the knee, rest it there, or for this practice, you could bring it to the floor inside the left thigh. Clasp the left hand around the ankle and then the right hand on the right knee. And then with this hand, you're actually going to guide the knee so that it rotates the leg, first in a clockwise direction, aiming to really open that hip. Again, inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement. Five rounds in each direction. And as you come out of the practice, as I showed you, when you reach that stage, remember to bring the knee up again and slide it along the floor. And then take a few moments just to observe the difference between the right hip and the left. And then when you're ready, complete the practice on the left hip, bringing the sole of the foot in front of the buttock. Bringing the knee out to the side, either placing the foot on thigh or on the inner right thigh. Left hand on left knee, right hand on left ankle, and again, guiding in a clockwise direction. Circles that are really within your range of movement, and you might find the more repetitions that you do, the easier it is to move and open the hip. 5 in each direction. And placing awareness in the hip. After your final round, again, knee up and then slide the leg across the floor and back to base position. Just to observe the movement of energy, not only in the hip, but also in the ankles and the knees from the practices you've completed so far. Complete another hip practice now. So this one is Tatali Asana, the butterfly posture. So bring both feet in front of the buttocks and then bring the knees out towards the floor. Clasp the hands around the feet and sit up. Make sure the spine is straight and allow the knees to fall towards the floor without pushing or straining in any way, just where they naturally fall for you. Inhale, bring the knees up against the arms. Exhale, bringing the knees down towards the floor. Complete 10 rounds in this way, inhaling on the upward movement, exhaling on the downward movement. And again, placing the awareness, witnessing the opening of the hips from this practice. After your 10 rounds, again, bringing the knees up together, sliding the legs across the floor, hands behind the buttocks, the fingers pointing away. And again, take some time to rest. We'll move now to the upper body. We'll begin with the hands. So for this practice, bringing the arms up at shoulder height, placing the thumbs on the palms and then clasping the hands around the thumbs. Exhale, stretch the fingers out as far as you can. Inhale, bringing them back into fists again. Complete 5 rounds in this way. Really stretching out between the fingers. This practice can help if you've been driving a long time. Sometimes you don't realize how hard you're actually clutching the wheel. And it just helps to release any tension in the hands that may still be there. After you finish 5 rounds, just rest the arms for a few moments. We'll move now to shoulder rotation. So placing, again, making sure the spine is straight, placing the right hand on the right shoulder, the left hand on the left shoulder, and bringing the elbows together in front of the body. Inhale, bringing the elbows up, back, down, exhaling on the downward movement, and bringing the elbows in front of the body again. This is 1 round. Complete 5 rounds in each direction. Again, trying to synchronize the breath with the movement and observing the release of muscles, particularly in the top of the shoulders. Also another great practice to do if you have been driving for a long time or been sitting at your desk. Sometimes we hunch over at our desk and don't even realize that. So this is a good one to really release any tension from doing that. Let's take a few moments again just to observe the movement of energy in the shoulders, but also in the wrists, in the fingers, and in the lower half of the body, just compared to when we began the class. We'll move now to some neck movements. So we'll do neck rotation because this is also a great one to, it's quite a compound asana that helps you to relieve tension in soreness in the neck. But before we do it, please be very gentle with this practice and ease into it first, just with caution, just to really get a feel for your own range of movement when you do this, because the neck can be, very fragile and sensitive. So to begin, again, making sure you're sitting up straight, sitting in a position where you feel comfortable and steady. Inhale, bring the chin to the chest. And then inhale, keep inhaling as you bring the head back behind and around. Exhaling as you bring the left ear to the left shoulder and the chin to the chest again. This is 1 round. Complete up to 5 rounds in each direction. Really slowing it down and observing just the release of tension in the different sides of the neck as you bring the head around. And now lie down in Shavasana. Your head in this direction if that works for you. And just allow the body to melt into the floor. And now another great stretch for when you've been really compacted position, whether you have been flying. This is always a good one when you've been on a plane for a long time, but also when you've been driving for a long time. So on your back, bring the soles, bring the knees up to being in front of the buttocks, flat on the floor. The feet are flat on the floor in front of the buttocks. And then allow the knees to fall to the side, bringing the soles of the feet together. And with your head still on the floor, bring the palms in front of the body in prayer position. And then bring the palms above the head, stretching up. So stretch up with the palms together above the head. And with the feet, the soles together, move the knees towards the floor. So you're stretching up through the torso and through the hips. This is pretty much a full body stretch. Hold for your own duration. And then to come out, bring the hands in prayer position in front of the heart space, and then bring the knees up together again. Complete another 2 rounds. Really allowing the knees to fall towards the floor, opening the hips, and then bringing the palms above the head together, stretching up through the abdomen. Exhaling as you come out of the practice. Inhale, bring the palms above the head once more, allowing the knees to fall towards the floor. And then again, come out of the practice, bring the knees together, coming back into Shavasana. And allow the body just to rest for a few moments. Again, just observing the movement of energy from that practice. We'll now also do a spinal twist. So bringing the knees in front of the buttocks again. So bringing the feet on the floor in front of the buttocks again, knees bent. You can either bring the arms out directly at shoulder height or place the hands behind the head, as long as the elbows can reach the floor comfortably. So inhale and then exhale, bringing the knees to the right and turning the head to the left. Allowing the body now to, it's fine to breathe, please breathe in this practice. But just allow the body just to ease into this twist. It should not hurt in any way. And then when it's right for you, inhale, bring the knees back to center, and then bring the knees over to the left and the head to the right. Again, just holding and allowing the body to just ease into it. Inhale back to center, both knees and head, and complete another 4 rounds in this way. And after your final round, lie back again in Shavasana. And it's a good idea now, we'll do some pranayama while lying in Shavasana and then move into Yoga Nidra. So if you are warm enough, that's fine, but you may like to get any blankets or pillows just to ensure that you're comfortable and don't need to move throughout the practice. And we'll begin first by placing the awareness on the natural breath at the nostrils. And just observing here how the natural breath fills the abdomen with air and the chest with air. And then on the exhalation, the chest subsides and the abdomen subsides. Just observing the natural, spontaneous breath. We'll now deepen the breath just a little so that when you inhale, the abdomen feels just like a balloon, and then the chest fills with air. On the inhalation, on the exhalation, the chest subsides again, and so does the abdomen. Just gently increasing the inhalation for a few moments. And then returning to the natural breath. We'll now complete the practice called Pranayama. So this is where, on the first stage of the practice, you will inhale in a series of stages and then complete one long, unbroken exhalation. So you breathe in through the nostrils. It's a big breath in, a big yogic breath. So you breathe in a little and pause, in a little more, pause, and then complete the inhalation and then complete one long exhalation. Complete this practice 3 times, and then you do the opposite. So then you will complete one long, deep inhalation, and as you exhale, you'll exhale a little bit, pause, exhale a little more, pause, and then complete the exhalation. Complete 3 rounds in each way. And then return to the natural breath. And so returning now to the natural breath, let's prepare for the practice of Yoga Nidra. Just check in with your body lying in Shavasana and ensure that there is balance between the left side of the body and the right side of the body. That the legs are about hip-width apart and all tension has been released in the legs so that they gently fall to the sides. The arms are a little bit away from the body, with the palms facing up. And that your head and neck are in line with the body. You may like to tuck your chin in just a little, just to check. And take a long, deep inhalation. And as you exhale, release your body into the floor. And take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time, as you exhale, be sure to release any expression that is left on the face. Unclench your jaw. Release the muscles behind the eyes. Just let all expression go from the face. And observe the contact between the body and the floor. Begin by observing the heels against the floor, and the back of the legs against the floor. Observe the buttocks against the floor, the back against the floor. Feel the backs of the arms and hands against the floor. Feel the shoulders and the back of the neck against the floor. And feel the back of the head against the floor. And observe how all of these different points of contact create one singular point of contact between the body and the floor. And become aware now of sounds. So firstly, listen for sounds way off in the distance And don't try and identify them or name them. Just move your awareness from sound to sound as you hear it. And now move the awareness to sounds just outside the room that you're in. Again, just moving the awareness from sound to sound. Bring the awareness now to sounds inside the room where you are. Just moving the awareness from sound to sound. Moving the awareness now to sounds inside the body, beginning with the sound and the sensation of the heartbeat. And now move the sound awareness to the sound and the sensation of the natural breath. Release the sound awareness now and call to mind your Sankalpa or positive intention if you have one. Sankalpa is like just a short statement of something you're aiming to achieve. And it's usually said in the present tense, like you are already achieving it. If you have a Sankalpa or positive intention, mentally repeat it 3 times now. If you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. Leave some space because sometimes it will emerge on its own. We'll now rotate the awareness around the body according to my instructions. When I repeat the name of a body part, please place your awareness there. Mentally repeat the name of that part and visualize that body part. We'll begin with the right side of the body with the right hand thumb, first finger, second, third, and little finger, palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side of the chest, right waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. Now over to the left side of the body with the left hand thumb, first finger, second, third, and little finger, palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, the wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of the chest, left waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. We'll now move to the back of the body, beginning with the heels, the back of the legs, the buttocks, the small of the back, the middle of the back, the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, and the entire spinal column, back of the head, and the crown of the head. Moving now to the face, beginning with the forehead, the temples, the eyebrows, and the eyebrow center, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the lips, the jaw, the chin, the throat, the collarbones, and the pit of the throat. The right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, the center of the chest, the right side of the abdomen, the left side of the abdomen, and the navel, the right side of the pelvis, the left side of the pelvis, and the groin, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, and both legs together, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, and both arms together, the whole torso, the whole neck, the whole head, the whole front of the body, the whole back of the body, the whole body. Have a sense now, all at once, the whole body. Release the focus on the body rotation and instead bring the awareness now back to the natural breath. Observe the natural breath of the nostrils. It's now very, very subtle. And observe how the natural breath causes the abdomen to rise and fall. And we'll now add a visualization to the natural breath in the following way. When you inhale, visualize that you are inhaling golden, healing, energizing light. As you exhale, you are releasing anything that does not serve you. And that may be whatever that represents for you, whether it's tiredness or worry, whatever it may be. Let it go with the exhalation of the natural breath. Inhaling natural, energetic, healing light. Exhaling anything that does not serve you. And use the breath like an anchor to bring it back to the practice if the mind begins to wander. Release the breath visualization now, and instead feel the following opposite sensations in the body. The body is feeling hotter and hotter. The body feels like it's inside a sauna and the heat has just been turned up. The face is hotter, the hands and the feet are clammy. Heat moves through the body from the abdomen. The body's feeling hotter and hotter, like you're inside a sauna and the heat has just been turned up. Release this feeling of heat now and replace it instead with a feeling of coldness. The body's feeling colder and colder. Body feels like it's outside on a freezing winter's day. The hands and the feet are numb from the cold. The face is also numb. And your eyes water as the icy wind bustles past you. The body's feeling colder and colder, like it's outside on a freezing winter's day. Release this feeling of coldness now, and instead replace it with a feeling of heaviness. The body's feeling heavier and heavier. The body feels like it's made out of concrete and it's pressing against the floor. The body feels so heavy, it feels like it might even fall through the floor. The arms feel heavier, the legs feel heavier, the torso and the head feel heavier. The body's feeling heavier and heavier, like it might fall through the floor. Release this feeling of heaviness now and replace it instead with a feeling of lightness. The body's feeling lighter and lighter. The body feels so light that it might drift away at any moment like a cloud. The body feels so light that it's barely touching the floor. The arms and the legs feel lighter. The head and the torso feel lighter. The body's feeling lighter and lighter, like it may drift away at any moment. Release this feeling of lightness now and allow the body to come back to a state of equilibrium. Release all of these sensations completely. And instead, come to the space of the mind, space behind the closed eyes. And in this space, see, imagine, visualize or create the following objects and images. You wake up early and you're staying near a beautiful beach. You decide that you will go down to watch the sunrise. You rug up because the air is cool and there isn't anybody around. As you get to the beach, it's still very dark, but you manage to find a little spot on a rock where you sit all rugged up with a blanket, ready to watch the sunrise. The sky is clear and you see what look like diamonds in the sky. The stars are also clear and twinkling before you. And as you sit there, waiting for the morning to arrive, you notice a meteor shower. Shooting stars are coming from everywhere and shooting all through the sky. And it feels such like a magical moment. It feels like this show was put on by the universe just for you. And you feel joyful and connected and grateful that you managed to see this. And just as soon as this beautiful show began, the light starts to become more in the sky. The stars begin to fade as the morning begins to arrive. And you notice a little bit of light on the horizon as the sun begins to make an appearance. And you notice this golden orb on the horizon poking over the edge of the sea. And again, you feel like this show from nature has been put on just for you. It's time now to come back from the beach, but you still feel joyful and grateful as you come back now and lie on your mat. And you begin to remember your Sankalpa, the positive intention from the beginning of this practice. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. If you don't have one, again, that's fine. Leave some space as it may emerge on its own. Feel the breath in the body once more and allow the breath to deepen a little. And as you do, observe the movement that the breath makes in the body and observe how your breath moves the back against the floor. Check in with your body now and observe how you feel now compared to the beginning of the class. The practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to a close. Begin to remember the room that you're in and the details of that room. Remember the color of your mat, the color of the floor, the color of the walls. Begin to hear the sounds around you and remember the world attached to those sounds. And remember the time of day. Begin to make small movements with the fingers and the toes, allowing the body to gently externalize, taking your time to externalize. Move and stretch in a way that's right for you. You may like to gently move your head from side to side, and then in your own time, lie onto your right side for a few moments, again allowing the body to externalize. And then when it's right for you, keeping the eyes closed and downcast to maintain the peace you've created, come up into a comfortable sitting position. And now, like we did at the beginning, gently move the awareness through the body, beginning with the soles of the feet, just to observe any differences you feel now from when you began the class. So moving awareness now gently up through the feet, into the knees, up into the thighs and the hips, up through the torso, through the spine, and into the fingers and the hands, into the wrists, the forearms, up through the elbows to the upper arms and the shoulders. Bringing the awareness now into the neck, into the face, and then gently bringing the awareness to the back of the head and into the crown of the head. And now move the awareness to the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a steady candle flame. And together now, we'll chant Om 3 times and Om Shanti to conclude the practice. Breathing in. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat.